readers,
reviewers,
countrymen,
lend us your ears. Welcome back to the channel. We are the Brothers Gwyn. I am Will, and this is my older brother Ed. And today we are here to talk about our January TBR pile. We're being a bit ambitious. We've got quite a few books in the pile. How are we going to kick off the first month of 2023 reading-wise? Hopefully in a good way.
Hopefully in a good way. I'm sure in a good way. Will, please kick us off.
Oh, I thought you were going to say kick us off in a good way then, and then I was going to...
Oh, no, well...
But all right then, I will kick off then, and in a good way, not in a bad way. And I'm going to start with The Passenger by Cormac McCarthy.
We're reading The Passenger now.
In a very bad way, but yes, The Passenger. So this is Cormac McCarthy. He thought, I've not released a book for 15 years, so I'll just release two a month apart. And so in January, I'll be combating the first of those, and that is The Passenger. And I say combating, and I chose that word very specifically because reading a Cormac McCarthy book, whilst it's always amazing, there's a lot, and it's usually pretty dark, pretty grim, bleak, and pretty horrifying, dreary, and pretty traumatic, and what you said as well.
And
so
he has a thesaurus, obviously, on his fingertips.
Exactly, embedded within his mind. He is a brilliant writer. I'm about halfway through The Passenger, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. If you're a lover of Cormac McCarthy's works, I'd say this is most similar to what I've read anyway. Most similar style to No Country for Old Men. So if that's a book you love, definitely try out The Passenger. There's a lot going on here, more so than in No Country for Old Men. A lot of different aspects coming into play and elements with our central character, Bobby Weston, and then his sister. And very interesting. I won't say more than that because so much of this is about how events unfold, the twists and surprises along the way. But yeah, that's how I'll be kicking off.
I can't wait to read The Passenger and Stella Maris, of course, because... Yes. They come as a duo, don't they? That's really exciting. It's the year of Cormac McCarthy. I also think it's the year of Pierce Brown. So I'm going to be doing a reread of Red Rising, as is Mike Book Reviews on his channel. So do go check out Mike's channel as well. I'm sure you do watch it anyway. He's got some awesome videos, and he is a lover of Pierce Brown. He's not a fighter of Pierce Brown.
Rightly so.
and I will also be rereading the Red Rising trilogy and as well the books that come after that, because the book Lightbringer is being published this year, and it's really exciting. That is, I think, the third installment of the second trilogy of the Red Rising world, and that's gonna be awesome. And there is another book coming out, I think next year, isn't it, called Red God by Pierce Brown, which is awesome.
Is that gonna be the final one?
I think it has to be called Red God. It must
but Lightbringer is a pretty awesome.
It starts with Red Rising and it ends with Red God.
Yeah,
that'd be fantastic. So yeah, I'm really excited to read a bit more Pierce Brown and reread the series, because I know when I always enjoyed doing a reread, because you find out so much more on a reread, don't you? Especially, what you loved, and you remember these characters, that you're fond of them straight away, or you hate them straight away. You know what dark deeds they're going to do, and the Red Rising trilogy is definitely not short of dark deeds. That
is one way to put it, Ed. And next up, I have a book that I'm going to be reading on my new Kindle. So the first book I'll be reading on there is Soulsmith by Wight, book one of his very, very famous now Cradle series. So this has been very famous. It's self-published, and it's called Leveling Up or Progression Fantasy. So basically each book you're finding new armor, magic, whatever, to make the main character, the protagonist, more powerful. And so that's a style of fantasy I've never read before. Obviously you do in games, it's a bit like that, isn't it? So it'd be interesting seeing how that is transferred into the format of a book, and at the very least I think this will be a refreshing read. I read the first 2 or 3 chapters because I just wanted a little sneak peek and then got carried away. So
they sound like episodes rather than books, don't they?
Exactly. That's what it's a bit episodic from what I've heard. And to show that I got just immersed in the first few chapters when I only meant to read a page, I think that speaks for itself, that it's going to be a great read because I really enjoyed the start. And so that is Soulsmith by Wight.
And the next one for me is Louise Erdrich's The Night Watchman. Now I committed, I told myself that I'd like to read A, more prize winners, so this is a Pulitzer Prize winner, and B, more Native American fiction. And Louise Erdrich is a stalwart of the Native American community. She writes books that really include these cultures, and I'm really excited to read someone of such high acclaim who writes with such diversity as well. And obviously it's a Pulitzer Prize winner, so I love every Pulitzer Prize winner that I've read so far, because I read Lonesome Dove.
Nice.
Every single one is a hit with me. So I can't wait to read this. I don't really know what it's about, to be honest. I know it's set in the 1950s on a reservation, and that's all I know. So I'm really excited to try it and definitely get into much more of Erdrich's work. That's a really funny name to say. Erdrich?
One of those.
Erdrich.
I think The Road might have won the Pulitzer. I'm not sure.
Oh, I read 2.
Perhaps.
Was it the
Maybe.
Pulitzer?
It
wasn't the Booker, was it? It
No,
was the
no.
Pulitzer. I think,
Yeah, I think it was Pulitzer. That cover, there's not too much on it, but there's just something that really draws the eye, isn't there?
Yeah, I think it must be the colours and the pattern.
Yeah, just very intriguing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited.
As I said, draws the eye. And what do I have next? I have another one I don't have physically, and that is The Lessons Never Learned by Rob J. Hayes. I really enjoyed reading Along the Razor's Edge in December, and this is another indie published book. And because one of my missions of 2023 is to read more indie or self-published books. In 2021, I read quite a lot. In 2022, I read some Brian Cahill, and then finish off the year with Along the Razor's Edge, but no others. So I need to rectify that in 2023.
Travis Baldwin is not classed as self-published anymore, is he?
No,
Did you read him when he was self-pubbed? I think you did. Was it just after?
I think it was just before.
Before.
Just before he was traditionally published.
So self-pubbed, another one.
Yeah, another one to add to the list.
But anyway, Ryan, we read him before he was published.
Yeah, no, sadly we didn't that one. But anyway, what was I saying? Yes, one of my missions of 2023 is to read more self-published, and so I really enjoyed book 1 of this series, The War Eternal. It's about a sorceress called Iskara, who she's quite young, 14 or 15, fighting in a war. Her side loses. She has her sorcery stripped from her, and she's thrown deep into a pit full of murderous thieves and an array of nasty criminals. And so I thought this was going to be kind of simple fantasy fiction that was written well, but it was going to be about her escaping, joining resistance, and then bada bing, bada boom, fighting the evil empire. This was very different from what I expected. It did not follow the normal patterns of fantasy. Rob J. Hayes is not afraid to give you a unique and fresh read, and as I said, he's not afraid to take you in subvert your expectations and take you in directions that you would not get in a million years. And so I'm really looking forward to carrying on with this series, as I really enjoyed book 1. So yeah, book 2, the sequel to that, is The Lessons Never Learned.
Can I just say how refreshing it is that you haven't got a physical book here? Because we know if you did have the physical book with you, then you would be turning it into a U shape.
At least I don't fold my pages.
Okay.
Mic drop. That is far worse.
No, there's a lot more commenters saying that they are upset at the way you handle books. Sorry, the way you mishandle
That is
books.
because...
Instead of my dog earring.
But this is because the only time I ever mishandle a book is when I'm talking and about the book, which is only on camera when I'm holding it. And so that people actually see it, whereas yours is off camera. The crime is far worse.
Does anyone smell that? I smell lies.
No. Do you fold your pages?
Yeah, I do. I'm telling the truth. I do. And the next one I'll be rereading, again, another reread, is David Gemmell's Sword in the Storm. I love the Boudica series. I love Papa Gwyn. I don't know if you heard of him. John Gwyn's The Faith and the Fallen series. If you haven't read that, check it out now. Wow. Check it. But I would like to read David Gemmell's Sword in the Storm. Again, it's got that Celtic feel. I'm in the middle of writing my own book. My own series at the moment, and I definitely think this would be some really good inspiration for me, because I just love the way that David Gemmell writes characters as well as cultures, and the way he mixes plot with character as well. It's fantastic. Everyone's morally grey, but everyone's so just heroic and lovable at the same time, even when they do bad things. And it is heartbreaking, this series, so I definitely need it to be inspired by lots of heartbreak, which is why I subject myself to this.
We need happier reads in 2023.
We do need happier reads.
I'm putting that down
now. So I'm starting with Sword and Stone.
Nice. And talking about David Gemmell, I am currently rereading Legend, and I'm listening to this in audible format. Thought I'd try it out again.
Sean Barrett is a good
It's the first book I've read by David Gemmell many a year ago now, and so I'm enjoying the return. And I forgot the entire intro section, which is Before You Meet Russ, which is brilliant. Absolutely loving it so far. So Legend was his debut, and it's a standalone about a small force holding a huge fortress against an invasion.
It's Thermopylae set in
a castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's called Dros Delnoch.
It's basically Minas Tirith, isn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And Dros Delnoch, can you get a cooler name than that? I think not. Well, at least it's hard to get close. But yeah, that is my next one on the list.
Very nice. I think David Gemmell needs to be a much more prominent feature on BookTube, 100%. I know Philip Chase could be reading Legend soon, won't he? And I think that will kickstart his love of David Gemmell, because no one writes heroes like David Gemmell, apart from maybe Philip Chase himself, because he does actually have his own series coming up this year, his own trilogy, and we were fortunate enough to read book 1, The Way of Adam.
We really
And
were.
the heroes really reminded me of David Gemmell's world, but imagine if they were in Middle-earth.
Yeah, and the recent chat we had with Philip, it was great to talk about his book, his plans with that, and far, far more about books.
Far, far more. And now, for me, I would love to read a bit more Western this year. And what better way to kick off with some feminist Western? This is Outlawed, which is about a group of female, well, I won't say cowgirls, but I don't know if they are cowgirls, but I just know it's about a group of women, and I'm sure they're against all the odds of the nasty, I don't know, people.
People.
And I mean, it's got guns on the cover, and they've got, some cool fedoras on, so I'm sure I will love it. But I've wanted to read this for a while. I'm sure it'll be a quick read because there's only a couple of 100 pages, but I've heard really, really great things about it, and I do love this edition as well.
And next up, I have a short story that I'll be reading, and it's called The Death of Ivan Ilich. And so that's not the whole book here, it is just one section. And it's by Leo Tolstoy, of course, the very famous author. And I recently watched a film called Living, which stars Bill Nye in it, and I absolutely loved it. It's about a man who finds out he has a terminal illness, and it's about him trying to find purpose and make the most of what time he has left. So it's a very powerful film, and it was inspired by Akira Kurosawa's film called Ikaru. And guess what? What was Ikaru inspired by? The Death of Ivan Ilich by Leo Tolstoy. So it all comes back to this. I want to read the source material, the beginning in book format, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. I've never read anything by Leo Tolstoy before, so hopefully this is a good introduction to his reading.
Yeah, he's that kind of essential reading, isn't he, Tolstoy?
He is.
And it's, especially for people who like the classics, he is up there, isn't he? And
Have
he's
you read
inspired.
any Tolstoy?
No, not yet. But I know that he's inspired lots and lots and lots. Now, I will actually be reading Red Sister this month. It's taken me a while. I haven't got too much. I started listening to this in Audible, and then I don't think I gelled with it. So I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to physically read it because I think I'll just enjoy it a lot more. Mark Lawrence's prose is something that I'd definitely like to digest. Even though I love listening to the Red Queen... I can never say that.
Red Queen's War.
The Red
Queen's
Queen's
Saga?
War trilogy. And I love that. I think it really suited Audible. I think this one probably suits being physically read for me anyway. So I look forward to it. William and Papa Gwyn absolutely love this series. And I love Mark Lawrence's writing anyway. I'm working through his books chronologically. So...
Very nice, Ed. And next up, I have a release which I was very luckily given early access to by NetGalley. So I'll be reading The Tyranny of Faith by Richard Swan, which is released, I believe, on the 11th or 14th of February, one of those two. I bet it's neither now, but mid-February.
Yeah,
but
just be safe.
Yeah,
Just
exactly. Mid-February. I'll expand it.
It's released this
in
year.
2023, yeah. Oh, you beat me to it. But yes, I'm really looking forward to reading this. I loved the first installment. I thought the first few chapters, if you're not clicking with there, I urge you to push through that because the first few chapters I enjoyed, but I didn't love. But then I thought it really hit its stride, and I loved the combination of mystery elements with thriller, these political machinations happening in the background of a more intimate story with a great character at the forefront called Sir Conrad von Valt.
Yeah,
what a name. And he's the Emperor's Justice, so he's a bit of like a lawyer, investigator, and executioner in one. And so it's pretty cool.
He's judge, jury, executioner.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's a quote on the book. I was trying to do that and then I just changed every single word. Except the last one. But you remember the actual quote. Thanks, Ed. And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to the sequel, Book 2, which is released in February. And hopefully I'll have a review out of that, before it's actually released.
Where?
Well, it depends if you read The Justice of Kings.
I would like to read The Justice of Kings. Should we pencil it in this month? I will be but I keep saying rereading. I will be reading The Justice of Kings by Richard
That's a
Swan.
hopeful one.
That's a hopeful one because I think those books probably at the moment will take up the majority of my time as I'm currently moving house as well. So it's a busy one. But Anyway, on to me again.
On to you again.
I have started my Berserk journey. Now, my copy of Berserk isn't actually here. It's actually somewhere else. But I am reading Berserk, which is really exciting. I've wanted to read a bit more manga, and I'm definitely going to start this year. And it's quite fun reading manga at the beginning of the year. Feels like, I'm reading, quick. Just getting more reading done.
A good start.
You do, don't you? Definitely. It gets the ball rolling for the year, especially when you've got a Goodreads target to hit that is in the 3 figures. So yeah, I'm really excited to read Berserk. It's iconic. It's a cult hit for a reason, and from what I've read so far, it's fantastic. It reminds me of Conan if Conan was set in Japan.
Very nice, Ed.
And Conan had a metal arm.
That's pretty cool.
His sword is awesome.
Is it?
Yeah, and he has a metal arm. He shoots crossbows.
I guess that way.
Yeah. You'd really like it.
It shoots crossbows.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Yeah. That's a unique gift, isn't it? But next up
I wish I could shoot crossbows.
Yeah, exactly. Next up for me, I have Imperium by Robert Harris. And I'm going to be doing this because Library of Alexandria is hosting a read-along on his channel and Discord. So if you're interested, do go along and read that. This is book 1 of the Cicero trilogy, and I have heard so much about Robert Harris, but I've never read a book by him, which is borderline criminal for a historical fiction reader. And so I'm looking forward to rectifying the mistakes of past Will and getting to that and reading Imperium.
Hey, new year, new you.
Exactly. Rectifying the mistakes, but I don't know what I was going to say then. I was going to say try and make
We're growing.
I was going to try and make a joke and then it failed miserably.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll be reading Imperium and hopefully, thanks Ed, brotherly love anyway. But hopefully I'll be really enjoying Imperium and following the chat on.
And I think I'm going to probably follow the path that you're macheting and say I might read that as well.
I
might jump
it's
on
usually
that
me
that
does that.
It is usually it does that, but that sounds awesome. And we'd love to chat with Alan about it as well.
That would be awesome.
And we did say that we'd chat about Cicero at some point in the future. So yeah, I think I might read Imperium as well.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Go
on, back to you, Ed.
That is all the books I'm going to dedicate myself to.
Okay.
You've just suddenly wrote me in for an extra 2.
Well, I didn't force you into it.
No,
Let it be said, this is on camera. I did not force him into it.
Yeah.
But now the last one that the last one that I'll be talking about is A Night of Flames by Matthew Harvey. Book 2 of is A Time for Swords duology. It may become a trilogy. I think it's only going to be a duology.
I imagine it'll be a trilogy.
Maybe.
Let's take bets. I bet your copies. It will be a trilogy.
Instantly, no. But so book 1 is A Time for Swords, and it's about the origins of the Norse threat on the English shores, the raid on Lindisfarne. And I know it wasn't the first raid on the English shores, but this is about what has kind of been set as the landmark for the first raid on English shores. And so Lindisfarne is present in this. And then there's a bit of a Magnificent Seven episode, which Matthew Harvey said he was inspired by, where it's kind of getting this group together through an array of means, which is awesome, and then defending somewhere else, which I won't say because it's part of the plot, and I don't want to provide spoilers in the video just about our TBR, do we? We don't want to spoil the read. But it's really well done, and so I'm really looking forward to carrying on, following these characters where they left off, the ones who survived anyway, and following them in A Night of Flames. And that is the last book, Ed, I'll be talking about.
And I can't wait to read more Matthew Harvey this year, because he's a fantastic author, he's a fantastic person as well. He's a really nice bloke. Whenever we chat on social media, he's really interesting. And I would love to feature him on the channel one day. That'd be awesome. Cool. Him alongside Giles Christian, I'm sure, will be a lot of fun.
That'd be awesome.
But yeah, definitely going to be rereading. Can't speak today.
Rereading.
Definitely going to be rereading lots of Matthew. I said it again. Definitely going to be reading Matthew Harvey lots more this year, and I look forward to it.
Very nice. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Let us know what your January TBR is. We know we've got this video a little bit late, but we had to do our top 10 of 2022 first, didn't we?
And they were a lot of fun to do.
A lot of fun to do. But as I said, thank you, everyone, for watching. Let us know your TBR for January. Let us know if you've read any of the books that we've talked about, or if they're on your list as well. So many questions. Let us know any others that we've not asked that we probably would be interested in as well. Just let us know in the comments. And everyone, thank you so much for watching. Truth and Courage. The Brothers Gwyn.
Truth and courage. Stay safe. Happy reading. Happy New Year. The Brothers Gwyn.